I have been listening probably most of your talks, so I try to come with a topic that maybe was not discussed directly, and maybe it will be interesting to go deeper into it. There are obviously quite spread view about the idea of Nibbana as being something positive, almost in kind of heaven or a state, place to go. They even say, oh, let's practice together, so we go together to Nibbana. Sometimes they don't say such an extreme way, but definitely you can see the ideas and views have kind of elements of that kind of permanent space or permanent state where you go. And then of course there is also becoming some kind of position, kind of saying Nibbana is a negative thing, and I try probably taking again some kind of facts and arguments to fight against the thinkers of positive Nibbana. So what you can say about that one?
So what's positive, what's negative?
They were not very clear. So basically positive, we can start, just what is Nibbana? Is really a state to go? Is it anything positive about it? Because there are a lot of misconceptions around Nibbana.
Well, yeah, since you don't have any specific misconceptions in the form of questions, I'll just tell you the understanding of Nibbana, and then you see wherever it fits. So absence of passion, absence of greed, aversion, delusion, as a mode of being, is what Nibbana is. So absence of possibility of passion, absence of possibility of aversion, absence of possibility of distraction and delusion is what Nibbana is. So you can take it to be positive, you can take it to be negative, take it whichever you want, if you take it to be absence of these three things. So it's certainly not a mystical state. It's certainly not a state that happens to you in a sense of, I had this experience, must have been Nibbana. It's a state you develop by removing greed, aversion, delusion entirely from all layers of your experience.
So that's Nibbana while the body is still here, while we're still alive.
Yeah.
And then Parinibbana.
Well, if you understand Nibbana while the body is still here alive, then you'll know what Parinibbana is. Otherwise, talking about Parinibbana when a person doesn't even have Nibbana, it's meaningless.
So you not right now confirm or deny that there's a kind of state. You can still feel like there is this sense of experience in Nibbana. 5 aggregates.
So what do you mean you cannot confirm or deny that it's a state?
So Nibbana wouldn't be some kind of after death. This is still some kind of continuity, that you still experience something.
Well, saying that there is continuity or that there isn't continuity is meaningless to the mind that doesn't even have the right view, let alone Nibbana. Because any idea of saying what's after implies after, which means it's already a form of continuity. Even if you say there is nothing after, the fact that the person thinks they can think after is nothing, that's already something for them. So that's what I mean. It's not like it's a state in as much as your current mood is a state. So what do you think Nibbana is?
I don't know, because Nibbana, I don't think so even the word says it's in a kind of state. It just means ending of something, like extinction, ending of bhava, something which you assumed as is there, conceived. When one sees through it, how can it be there, let's say, still experience without being affected by some assumptions, or when is the ending of conceiving.
So how would that not be a state?
Nibbana.
Yeah.
Well, if it's Nibbana, state as a bhava.
Say Nibbana is extinction of bhava. it's extinction of being, it's still something as such. How can you even talk about it? How can you aim for it? How can you experience it if it's not a state?
Well, Nibbana can be never really in front of you. It's not a thing there.
Well,
it's more like, let's say, context.
Well, in that sense, no thing can be in front of you.
No.
Is your being, is your bhava in front of you?
Bhava,
Is bhava something in front of you? Or is it your context?
I would say the bhava is more.
Is your being something you can attend to?
I would say yes.
No, it's impossible. If you're attending to, that's not your being. That's on account of your being. Your being is already where your situation is. So you can attend on account of it, but you cannot attend it, because you are it.
Because I thought,
So it's like saying your eye can attend to itself.
So I thought like being in a sense in the front, like is conceived. It's
Being is conceived, but the conceiving does not happen in front of you. The conceiving is not a matter of choice, and intention and attention.
so
The
conceiving.
conceiving is the direct result of lacking that understanding of that fundamental context.
Yes.
So perceiving is already conceiving.
Yes. So that's why I thought, like not knowing, not recognizing that the context.
Mm-hmm.
So not having established the right context, not having established the right view.
Mm-hmm.
I took as a context and right view of something which is, let's say, within, and bhava, something in front.
Yeah, but you can already see that that's not quite adequate. Because why would the being, just simply being there, regardless of the content, why would that be the content of your context? That's the whole point of being. It's non-specific, not bound to this or that. Just the fact that you are means that's what being is. So, if Nibbana is extinction of that, that's what I mean. So in that sense, even that being cannot be in front of you. So what is Nibbana then? If being cannot be in front of you, what would then constitute extinguishing of that being?
Five aggregates.
Yeah, okay, but let's keep within this. I'll just provide
Nibbana.
an answer. Oh, five aggregates. So if being is always on the level of the context, your being here and now, what would be extinguishing with that? What would you extinguish? Does extinguishing of the context mean there is no context?
No, it is impossible.
Exactly. So it's impossible then for Nibbana to not be an experience.
Yes, the experience is still there. This is why I said five aggregates.
Yeah, let's again not go into five aggregates. Stay with the being. So the being that cannot be in front of you, you extinguish the context of that being, and that cannot be in front of you. But is it correct then to say that that's like not a special experience, or that's a special experience, or that that cannot be sort of experienced in the same sense as bhava is, cannot be directly or indirectly experienced? Which one is it? How can there be extinguishing of your being unless that's also your situation at the time?
Well, there's not anymore this kind of conceiving of me and the world. So you just experience as it is.
Okay.
So
So then Nibbana is experience.
Nibbana is experience.
So what's the difference then between the experience of Nibbana and the experience of non-Nibbana?
The one is more like an idea of Nibbana, more conceived, affected by illusion.
Sorry, non-Nibbana is more of an idea of Nibbana.
No, Nibbana.
Nibbana is more of an idea of Nibbana. What does that mean?
So I lost it.
So if the again, let's practically speaking, the current context of your situation, in the most general terms, you are. Doesn't matter what you are, doesn't matter how you are, doesn't matter even how you conceive yourself to be, means you are there first. You have some general sense of here and now.
Yes.
Extinguishing of that. So it's not extinguishing of this particular conceiving or that particular problem, it's extinguishing of you being here and now.
It's just experience.
So if here and now, as a most fundamental general context, is experienced,
Mm-hmm.
what would then be the extinguishing of it without sort of destroying it? Because obviously destruction of here and now is not Nibbana either.
All that assumptions about experience.
Such as?
Assumptions that I'm in control of things, that things are for me.
Well,
And
do you,
Nibbana,
where are those assumptions? Is that something you can see directly?
Obviously not, because if you see directly, then you will see immediately it's not
So
yours.
extinguishing of those assumptions, what does that entail?
I'm sure.
Like you can extinguish the assumption of I am and still not be in Nibbana. Which means
Right.
extinguishing I am contains something that pertains to Nibbana, but it's not sufficient in itself. Like abandoning Attavada does not take you to Nibbana.
Still, there's this kind of sense of control, so there's still
Yeah,
desire
but what is
and
it? What is
aversion.
it that's in common to all those assumptions that you want to extinguish? What is the more fundamental thing that's present in them that you do extinguish through extinguishing assumptions that then basically establishes experience of Nibbana?
I'm not sure.
Greed, aversion, and delusion. Always.
Yes.
So, can you have sense of self? Can you have a sense of control? Can you have any form of implicit desire?
Yes.
You can't. Impossible.
Yes.
So then, the extinguishing of being, it's not the extinguishing of here and now that it is. It's extinguishing of greed, aversion, delusion within here and now. And that's when Nibbana becomes visible here and now. Not because he was elsewhere, and then you brought it into here and now as a special experience that sort of you haven't understood at the time, but it was so overwhelming, it must have been right, and then you figured it out later. That's mysticism.
Yes.
You brought it here and now because it was always here and now, it was being obscured. You remove the obscurities, that's how you get to experience it. That's what Buddha referred to like Nibbana, the element of Nibbana. Means the possibility of Nibbana is always here and now, because the possibility of abandoning greed, aversion, delusion is always here and now.
Yeah.
So can you find greed, aversion, delusion anywhere else, apart from your feeling?
No,
Impossible.
impossible, because
So understanding the context of the feeling then, understanding the nature of the feeling,
removes the assumptions about the feeling.
removes the basis for any desire
Yeah.
towards the feeling, which
Yes.
then stops feeding the assumption. But it's not like you choose to remove this assumption. It's indirect in a sense of you discern what the basis for assumption is, which is lacking the knowledge of the nature of the present enduring feeling, and by developing that basis, or rather by removing the basis which is lacking of the knowledge, so by replacing the basis of lacking of the knowledge, replacing it with the knowledge, you have removed the basis for assumptions. So that's how assumptions will cease. So that's when Nibbana is determined in that indirect sense.
Yes.
It's determined upon your effort to enter Nibbana, your effort to develop Nibbana. And that's why I say Nibbana is not a special non-experience or in between experience and non-experience that kind of overrides everything else. Nibbana is also one of the Dhammas. Like everything, every context you're in, it's a form of Dhamma, it's a form of phenomena, it's where your mind is. And Nibbana is also so. The only difference between Nibbana Dhamma and any other non-Nibbana Dhamma is whether it's determined by greed, aversion, delusion.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's determined by the wrong order, whether it's determined by the lacking of the understanding of feeling, whether it's determined by any approach that you find in the suttas.
So then also Arhantic he will know exactly what would make him angry, but he doesn't get angry in some way.
He could know exactly what used to make him angry.
Yeah. Because
or what used to make him lustful, what used to make him distracted.
I just remember there was one incident, I think with Arjun Shah, and they asked him if he still gets angry, and the way he said apparently was something like, "Yes, but I don't pick it up."
Right.
In the sense like, maybe he meant I recognize what can annoy me, what maybe would make me angry, but
Yeah, I don't know what he meant. He could have meant anything by it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he could mean there is a degree of disagreeable, but I'm not picking it up. But it can also mean, oh, I choose to not pick it up, which means you are affected by it. So yes, it's a good thing that you don't pick it up, but that's not enough. You also want to not be affected by it.
the same with desire probably, yeah. So
Yeah.
also you can see even the Buddha recognized what's a beautiful thing there in the world, but that doesn't affect anything.
Why is that?
Because this is just fundamental things. He sees that feeling as feeling.
So why does the Buddha doesn't have? Why does he lack desire towards beautiful things? Why is there no desire towards beautiful things?
Just general recognizing that he doesn't have control, because his eye is exactly trying to control your feelings.
Well,
Feelings in its own nature rising and ceasing, while the Putujanas try to.
I think people can recognize that they don't
act
have
on it,
control and then have desire in regard to not having control. Anything can be taken by desire. Like some people find the thrill, find the desire in not having control, in submitting their control. They find pleasurable. So it's not that. Because if that were contained in the desire, then those people would not be able to experience desire on account of non-control, yet they do. But why doesn't the Buddha experience desire towards beautiful things in the world?
Tanha disappears.
Why?
Because Tanha is painful.
Tanha is painful.
Not painful, but
Well, again, if that's all it takes, there would be no tanha. If tanha is painful, you'll automatically be free from tanha, because the whole purpose of Putujan is to avoid pain and not want to pain and
Yes.
not give in to pain. So it can't be that either. So why does the Buddha have no desire towards beautiful things in the world?
don't know how to answer otherwise. Just this kind of assumption disappears, and
Well, all of those are kind of theoretical answers.
yes, well,
It doesn't answer it.
that's right. It's
Assumption disappear. Okay, why does the assumption disappear? Why is there no desire towards beautiful things in the world? For a mind that's fully awakened. Or for a mind that's beyond sensuality.
because all that assumption about me and the world disappears, and
Okay,
well,
yeah,
then
it
it's
does.
like,
Why does that assumption disappear?
I guess this again will be theoretical answer,
Hmm.
because the ignorance disappears.
Yeah, exactly. So why does the ignorance disappear?
Yeah. It's knowledge arised. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good knowledge arises. Why does the knowledge arise? No, so all it does, like, there's no like wrong answer,
No,
but there is not accurate enough answer.
yes, yes.
So that's the whole
That's
point.
okay. Let's dig more into
So
it.
why does the knowledge arise in regard to beautiful things so there is no desire? What is the knowledge in regard to beautiful things so there is no desire towards them?
I do have answers, keeps coming up, but I know that wouldn't be the right answer. I think I could have to tell me.
Well, no, it kind of defeats the purpose.
Yes,
Um,
yes, okay.
Give some other answer that comes to mind. Doesn't matter even if it's not accurate enough.
So understanding the whole nature as a whole, when it's also understanding that actually nothing really stands on its own, the things are already determined, that's already kind of given beforehand, that actually he didn't have really control over those things.
Okay, but all of that is kind of secondary psychologizing, like providing reasons to yourself why you shouldn't do it like that. Why you should not have desire, oh, it's because of this, it's because of this, it's because of this. None of that is simultaneously seen as an underlying cause because of which you will be unable to experience desire towards it. So what is, let me put it like this, what is simultaneously present in every experience of beautiful, on account of which you can experience non-desire?
Feeling, on account of which the second question was a little bit,
Yeah, so let's do it again. So like experience of beautiful, like beautiful sight.
Yes.
And there is a desire towards it.
Yes.
That's the starting point.
Yes.
So you don't approve that desire by providing explanations why that's not right, or why that's not beautiful, or why this or why that.
Mm-hmm.
That's you trying to manage your desire.
Still
Yeah.
gratify.
So direct insight requires you to see through that which is beautiful towards which you have desire. So as a result of that direct seeing, there is no desire. Not as a result of your effort to cover up desire or to manage it or to explain it. So you become unable to have desire towards it.
Mm.
That's what knowledge of beautiful means. So I'm asking you, what is that knowledge of beautiful that will result in you being unable to have desire, in the same sense as the Buddha said, you would be unable to have desire towards the food you just vomited.
Yes, just because you see it's not so pleasant as you thought it is.
You see it is not so pleasant as you
It's
thought
not
it
pleasant
is.
because you see it's
What is not
dukkha
pleasant?
within it.
What is the dukkha?
Dukkha is
I mean, what is the dukkha in that particular case? Not general, what's dukkha?
the determination is dukkha. Yeah.
So what is the determination of beautiful? That is dukkha.
The eye.
No,
The
that's not
feeling.
determination of beautiful. No,
Lust.
no. That's the result of an ignorance,
Yes, yes,
of not knowing determination.
But-
So what is the determination of beautiful? That when not known, you have desire towards it. When known, you don't have desire towards it.
Feeling.
No, in regard to beautiful, not in regard to feeling.
Well, there is material shapes, perception.
Yeah, but what kind of perception? Because beautiful is a perception, so what? Determination of beautiful is beautiful? Don't think about it theoretically. Think about it through the experience of something beautiful. Recollect something beautiful that you had desire towards. Now obviously you don't act towards it, so sense restraint is there, established beforehand. So now in the experience of beautiful that you have desire towards, you want to see what is that determination, yeah, you were right, on account of which you will be unable to maintain that desire. It's not like, oh, I'll see this and then I'll say no to my desire. That's not accurate
What
enough.
is beautiful in the experience, just like normal language would say, like past experiences we have about the thing.
Yeah, okay, sure.
So memory.
So whatever, take a memory, take whatever. But
Okay.
so it's a memory of a beautiful experience.
Which give arise.
So I'm not asking
pleasant
you what
feelings.
is beautiful in that. I'm asking you what is determining that beautiful. What is the necessary base for that? What is the sankhara of that beautiful? Because you brought it up.
So obviously Arahant recognizes what is beautiful, so I can't say it's ignorance or something like that. It's beautiful is beautiful.
Exactly. So
So
that's why I asked, why doesn't an arahant,
just see the beautiful but nothing more.
there is no desire towards beautiful?
Yeah.
No, because he always needs to explain to himself why this is not worth desiring in. He just simply has no desire towards it. In the same sense, you don't need to explain to yourself why you shouldn't eat your vomit. You just won't, because it's disgusting.
Mm.
So what's in every heart of beautiful? What's in heart of every experience of beautiful? What is that that
It's
determines it?
pleasant. It's
Well, yeah, see, pleasant.
Desire for more of it.
Okay, no, that's only the response to being misperceived as beautiful.
So what is beforehand? I mean,
What is not beforehand in the sense of what was before
yeah,
it became beautiful?
Yeah, no, what's
What
the
is
context?
the, as you said, what is the determination of it? That if you can see correctly, you will not have desire towards it. Think of it. Okay, let's say that's similar from the sutta.
Dissatisfaction.
Let's say that's similar from the sutta. No, not quite. The beautiful, tasty beverage, perfect in taste, color, smell, beautiful drink in every regard.
Yes, there's poison there.
You don't know there's poison there, so you're fully gripped by the desire to consume that drink. So you're fully, it's beautiful, and there's desire towards that beautiful, towards consumption, towards engaging with it. So then you find out there is a poison in it. So the drink hasn't changed.
No.
Your
So
perception of it hasn't changed.
Yes.
It's still the same smell, taste, touch, same consistency. But now you have no desire towards it.
Because
What's
now
the
you know
difference?
it's a poison. So what's the poison in other contexts? You see some kind of danger you see in it.
So it's dangerous.
Yes.
So now the same thing, through the heart of the same drink, still in front of you, you can still smell it. You see that it's dangerous if you engage with it.
Yeah.
And that's sufficient for you to not have desire towards it.
Right.
So it's the danger that will prevent you from having desire towards it. But not danger in a sense you've been doing, like explaining the danger.
Nice
Or psychologizing the danger and saying, because this is not in my control, because of this, because of this, because of this. All that's true theoretically, but none of that can serve the basis for you uprooting the desire, because that danger needs to be seen through that thing that is beautiful. Not in response to, not after or before or whatever else. So if you see the heart of every beautiful to be dangerous, you cannot possibly want it. It will be inconceivable to have desire towards it, regardless the extent of the beauty. Heavenly beauty, like the factually, absolutely, like the most refined beauty you can imagine, it's equally dangerous. It still shares the same nature, and that's why the mind who is fully awakened will not have any desire, not just towards these worldly things, but even, you know, the ideas of heavens or even experiences or whatever, devas and so on. It just cannot be wanted, because any form of beauty is dangerous in that sense. Why is it dangerous? What is the danger?
Well, first things I would say that
So again, keep the same principle in mind. Beautiful, within beautiful you see dangerous. Now further, within beautiful that is dangerous, what else do you see as characteristics of that same thing that's presently enduring?
because if somebody sees through these things, it's dangerous, and then keep gratifying that object, it's just like you're also gratifying the whole assumption about the beautiful thing.
You're not aware of any of those things when you engage in gratification, so none of that can play the part. But what is there apparent in that danger? Or what is there that can be apparent in that danger? In other words, what are the characteristics of danger? Why is danger dangerous?
Dangerous because you're allowing yourself.
So as soon as you started with maybe, it's not going to be an accurate answer. Because now you're trying to figure it out, not trying to describe. Take the experience of danger, any danger, and look for what is the nature of being exposed to danger.
You have no control.
You have no control.
You start losing it. You're
But,
slaved.
Okay, so what, say again?
Slaved.
Enslaved. Okay, I thought you said something else. So danger implies non-control. Now you ask yourself further: is non-control always unpleasant?
No.
No, exactly.
So
So what other things are there
That's the
that are always
gratification.
present in danger? So take that non-control further. Why is that non-control dangerous?
Gratification is still there.
No. Why is? Don't
No.
think about gratification now. I'm asking you, why is danger dangerous? You say because it's not, it has no control. Okay. So why is the non-control dangerous? What's the difference between non-dangerous non-control and dangerous non-control? In other words, what's the difference between danger and non-danger?
You know, when dangerous becomes when it goes against your own desire and preferences, your expectations.
Yes,
when
true, but not accurate enough.
Not accurate enough. It's pleasant.
No, again, imagine you're
Yes.
under you're exposed to some danger now. Why is that danger? What is the nature of danger? What's the definition of it?
Painful.
Why is it painful?
And again, I would say the same things. Losing control.
Well, but then I was just revolving around.
It's like
So why is not having control? That's a characteristic. Pain, that's a characteristic. Why do danger? That's a characteristic, so to speak. What do these things have in common? Whatever, say whatever comes to mind. Like, non-accurate answer is not a wrong answer. And by providing a non-accurate answer, you define what's more accurate than that.
maybe repeat the question again. Yeah.
So what's in common to danger, non-control, and unpleasantness of it? What's the common characteristic? What's the unifying characteristic that makes danger dangerous? That makes danger unpleasant?
Maybe the not able to face its impermanent. That is not permanent.
Sorry?
That's not sense of. There's no permanence in it.
And
Security,
that's, so
safety.
what is safety?
Yes.
So what is the characteristic then of non-safety? If you don't feel safe. So lack of safety defines what's dangerous.
Yes.
So if things are safe, they're automatically not dangerous. Even if you don't think about safety, any experience of danger means it's a threat.
Yes.
Means you are subjected to it. And yes, it means you have no control in it, means that threat is already unpleasant. Even if that danger is far removed, not like acute, immediate, the fact that it brings the glimpse of ultimately you are under threat. Your life is under threat. Your life can end. Things that you hold to be yours can be swept away. That the recognition of that whole thing, that's why it's dangerous. So those are the characteristics you want to see in beautiful objects in the world. Lack of safety, threat, danger, non-control, directly while they're present, not in response to them as a management technique. So that's what I mean, you need, like, people need to learn how to allow things to endure and then see through them what else is simultaneously there enduring. Because again, you wouldn't be talking about characteristics of danger when danger is gone, because then it becomes an abstract thing. No, you discern the danger and then you can discern the simultaneous characteristics that define that danger. So why is then lack of safety? Why is that unpleasant and unwanted? Why do you prefer a sense of safety and a kind of non-safety?
Because, like, you know, the whole assumption of I am is going to be feeling of dying, and you want to protect it. I mean, you don't even know. It's just
yeah,
like,
you don't think those things.
No, you don't think so.
So I'm
but it's
asking
like,
you things that you do think, which is why do you value safety? Why is safety more desirable than non-safety?
pleasant, comfortable.
It's pleasant and comfortable. Yeah. So why is then the pleasure more wanted and displeasure not wanted?
Because they give us pleasure, gives you more assumed confirmation that there is safety.
Well, no, that's the result of you wanting that pleasure. So why do you want pleasure and not want pain? Why do you act towards protecting your pleasure and act towards avoiding pain?
Just because it's painful. It's unpleasant.
Yeah, that's it. There is no reason. There is no reason. That's the whole point.
Yes.
There is no reason why you prefer pleasure on account of pain, and that's why you automatically do so. You don't know that there is no reason, and that's how that becomes your reason. If you suddenly or not suddenly, if you make the effort to go like this and discern the various characteristics that will bring you back right to the starting point of, oh, so all I'm doing is trying to avoid pain and prolong pleasure, and I have absolutely no justification for that. There is no reason. You just choose to act like that for a gratuitous assumption because that's what you wanted. And that's why it's possible to undo it. See, if the reason for your craving towards feeling of pleasure or towards feeling of pain or towards neutral feeling would be rooted in feeling or something other, you wouldn't be able to uproot it. But it's not rooted in anything. It's always a gratuitous response in regard to what you're presently feeling. That's what the Buddha said, ignorance is utterly, completely beginningless. Craving is completely beginningless. Because it's not in the aggregates, it's not the result of aggregates moving and coming together or whatever else. No, it's just experience of aggregates means you crave towards, against, or kind of away from them. And there is no reason for that. And until you find out that there is no reason for that, that will be your reason for maintaining that craving. And that's it. If you're free from craving, you cannot possibly be acting towards on account of how you're feeling. If you don't act on account of how you're feeling, you cannot possibly be exposing yourself to threat of danger, non-danger, safety, non-safety. If you're not exposing to the threat of that, means you have no desire towards things that are kind of offering you safety. Because you don't value safety anymore because you realize it wasn't safety. And that's the whole point. Sensuality and pleasure is the safety for unenlightened mind. That's what Buddha said, Putujana, when touched by unpleasant feeling, doesn't know any other way of dealing, of overcoming, of not being affected by that discomfort, except trying to go into sensual desire in response, cover it up. It's the only form of safety he knows. And then, for as long as you don't question that form of safety and see it as non-safe, inherently dangerous, you will always regard it, have a view that it's safe, that it's desirable, that it's wanted, that it should be obtained. But if in the heart of that safety you suddenly realize, oh my goodness, this is a trap. See, oh, there's a safe space for you. Come in, come in. So I can sort of trap you in and kill you. And if that danger becomes apparent in that safety, you realize this is not safety. And you would not have to, you wouldn't need to then explain to yourself why you shouldn't have desire. Automatically you will not have desire anymore because it's dangerous.